What's going on, traders? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. So just wanted to make a quick recap on my trades today. So I ended up trading PBR twice with two different accounts, one with my Robinhood account, which I'm currently down on, and one with my Fidelity account that I'm currently up 2 cents. I'm going to talk about my whole thought process and kind of what led to my success and my mistake when jumping into PBR and everything. So the reason I decided to jump into PBR, I called it out during our TechBot Solutions group chat. So if you guys don't know what that is, the link is provided for you down below so you guys can join our Facebook platform. Once you get accepted to the Facebook platform, on the top pinned post, as you see right here, you simply click see more, and then you have to agree to the terms and conditions, and then you have all the links to the group chats. The swing trading group chat is currently full, so just give me a couple days to get that one open. But once you get accepted to that, then you have access to all the series of different group chats that we have within TechBot Solutions. And one of the things is that I ended up calling out PBR with a support at $9. The reason I called it out with a support at $9 or $8.96 was because of how it played out during pre-market hours. And what I mean by that is, let's focus on how it played out pre-market hours. So if you see that during pre-market hours, as you guys can see right here, it hit a low of $9, but during aftermarket hours as of yesterday, hit a low of $8.96. So when it saw an upward trend and hit a peak at $9.25, it started seeing somewhat of a downward trend, right? So it started staircasing down, and I realistically thought because of the old support that it had at $9 that it was going to bounce. And what did I do? I waited for that. So I waited for the bounce at $9. I got in originally at $9.01. And then it started to rise. So I thought, again, I waited for the bounce. I started seeing signs of upward momentum. I got in at the bounce, and everything looked good. My RSI indicator, everything was going according to plan. And then it peaked out at $9.10. So realistically, I thought, okay, I did the right thing. Now we hit a resistance at $9.10. I should have seen that a little bit more to be an issue, because I didn't actually plan, $9.10 to be a resistance, since it wasn't really a very strong support as it was coming down. So I thought I was going to be able to make my way back up to this, $9.25 and lock in a little bit over 2.5% profit, if you guys could see that. With this $1,000 challenge, again, you only need to lock in 2.33% on average, 3 times out of a 5-day period to convert your $1,000 account to $20,000. So realistically, I thought it was within means. I thought it was very realistic. And I set up a plan for success. And what I mean by that is, well, I knew the support was at $9 because of pre-market hours, right? So that made sense to me. I knew that that was a solid support. Was I going to buy in exactly at $9 when it got there? No, I wanted to make sure that it bounced, making sure that the support was still valid. So once it bounced, I was like, okay, well, I made the right choice. I predicted it properly, and it bounced at $9. The only thing is I didn't expect this resistance at $9.10, and what ended up happening, I should have planned out a little bit better. Now, when it bounced, it hit the resistance at $9.10 and then started seeing a downward trend, broke the support, and then continued to drop. And right now, it's currently trading at about $8.86. Now, with my Fidelity account, right, because I'm trading with my Robinhood account for the $1,000 challenge, with my Fidelity account, I trade with an average of about $3,000 per trade or per position. I saw the bounce at $8.81. I saw the bounce. I saw that it had a previous resistance. Previous support at $8.85. So like we know, old supports become new resistance levels. So I bought in as it broke above $8.85, and then I'm currently up, right, as it's about to break the $8.90 resistance. It peaked out at nearly breaking $8.95, but it couldn't really pull through. So most likely, as it starts to see this upward momentum, I know that the resistance is going to be at this $8.95 mark. And why is it at $8.95, $8.94? The reason why is, again, old supports become new resistance levels. So that was a valid support during aftermarket hours on as of yesterday, right? So that was a valid support around $8.96 to $8.95. Now that, because it was an old support, now that becomes a new resistance. And simply in doing that, now that I see that it's seen an upward trend and it's nearly breaking this $8.90 resistance, I'm going to most likely end up selling at this. If the wall of sellers end up building up again, how they did at this $8.94 resistance, then I'm most likely going to lock in my profits. Now with my Fidelity account, I'm following with a trailing stop loss. So once it breaks above 890, I'm going to put my stop loss there just to lock in my profits. And if it continues to rise and it breaks above, this 895, then I'll follow with a trailing stop loss there. So, I did good with my Fidelity account. I did good with that. Something I could have done better was locked in my profits at the 895. I could have seen this RSI indicator showing signs of it being more on the overbought side since the volume wasn't really there, and have sold there, button in back again at this lower point at 885 again, and then ride it back up. But instead of buying and selling twice, now I'm just doing it one time, right? But realistically, we really just need to break above this Bollinger Band to start seeing signs of upward momentum. But the RSI is also indicating right now that it's overbought, but I think the volume is really picking up. So as you can see, it's really building up against this resistance, and this is a second candlestick. This is now the third candlestick, as you guys can see here, and we'll see if we push on through. There's a wall of buyers at 889, and again, this is level 2 through TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. So with all those that have a social security number, you guys can have access to this platform simply by creating an account. You don't necessarily have to fund it. And I do have a video explaining exactly how to do that. But just wanted to explain my whole thought process. An area of opportunity for me that I've talked about multiple times is with this Robinhood account. I could have traded with my Fidelity account first and jumped on in, seeing if it was actually going to see signs of upward momentum, and then jumped on in with my Robinhood account. The thing that I've been doing quite often is first I jump in with my Robinhood account. I usually don't do very well in a sense that I have to stop loss out a little bit quicker as it broke below the support, and then I jump back in when it bounces at this other support that it builds with my Fidelity account, and I think it should be the other way, but that's just an area of opportunity for myself. Now, another one that I was looking at was that NAK was actually building at the support of $1.60. And what I mean by that is if you look at the past 2 days, it's been holding pretty well around 160 support. There's a resistance around 175 to 160. I apologize, 165 to 168. So it's not breaking above that right now. It's issuing a slight sign of upward momentum as this green candlestick starts to break through this support resistance that it had at 163. So hopefully we can break above 165 and the volume starts picking up. But the reason that I find this one to be potentially profitable is because within the past 3 days, it was trading around 175 to 180 plus. And obviously the potential for profit is, I think, greater for the potential for loss. And what I mean by that is setting up a plan. Every time you guys trade, you guys should understand the importance of identifying the potential and setting up a plan. So let's say right now it's at 163. You buy in at 163, and the support is at 160. So you'll put a stop loss anything below 160, so 159.9. Your potential for loss is about 1.1%, right? Now your potential for profit, if you get in at 163 and sell, basically at this resistance that it's first going to approach, is $4.11, and that's within 1 day, right? Now the other resistance is going to be around 175, and that's about 7%. And then once it gets to the 180, that's a little bit over 10%. So I believe the potential for profit for NAK is much greater than the potential for loss, and that simply makes sense to me, and that's all it needs to make sense to. So I would suggest for whatever stock you end up trading, make sure you identify the potential, make sure you identify the support, the resistance, and the stop loss, and set up a plan and stick to it. That's one of the most important things. Yesterday, I jumped on a call with a couple traders within our group. I had a drive, and I do apologize for the inactivity for me today. So pretty much I drove from California to Arizona, and it was going to be a 6-hour drive. So I was like, how about I hop on a couple calls with different people within our community. And I hopped on a couple different calls, and it was so amazing being able to talk to each and every one of you, and your goals, your aspirations, what a couple questions that you guys have. So I do want to thank you guys all that did put time aside in effort to reach out to me and take time out of your day to actually jump on the call. It actually assisted me staying awake on that long drive since I didn't get here until 4 a.m. But that's really just it. So those were my trades for the day. My Robinhood account is still currently down with my trade on PBR. And what I mean by that is, oh, and it just broke. Let's see if we can get pushed on through. It looks like it did break above, so hopefully we can continue to break above. So once we break above, if anything, I'm going to lock in my profits for my Fidelity account. I just got a little pullback at 889. So I'm going to have to follow up with this one. But I am down right now with my Robinhood account. I'm on average with my Robinhood account at $8.96, if I'm not mistaken. I bought as it was bouncing. And what I mean by that is because I knew the old support during after market hours was at 896. I bought a little bit more there, and then it brought down my average as it started seeing an upward trend, but then ended up breaking again back down. So overall, thank you guys again for watching. If you guys found this video helpful, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if there's anything that I can do to assist you in your success, please feel free to reach out to me. The best way to reach out to me is within the TechBud Solutions group chat. Simply, you can just DM me, and then I'll be more than happy to hold a conversation with you within that. Every other way that you can email me when it comes to like my email or Facebook, I actually have different members that or different administrators within TechBud Solutions that actually respond to those specific messages. So I definitely want to make sure that I respond to your messages. So again, just direct message me, and that's 100% going to be me. And like always, if you guys can like and subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate it. We're about to break 18,300 members. I apologize, 18,300 subscribers, and we have a little bit over 20,500 members now within TechBud Solutions, within all the different platforms we have available. So like always, let's make sure that we end the week on a green note. Take care, guys.